Hi everybody, my name's Jamie and I'm a huge Assassin's Creed Valhalla fan, but there's a bit of a problem regarding one particular news subject for it. I have seen a lot of people and press outlets talking about the map size for AC Valhalla. At first I thought it was going to be small, then it was going to be big, then the story was going to be bare bones, and now it's not quite so bare bones. Basically in this video I want to talk about the facts that we have regarding the map and how the story relates to it. I'm doing this because I think we can ascertain exactly how large the map will feel based on what we know about the story and by comparing the maps of previous AC games against it. First, let's just get down to the details. Is the map for AC Valhalla bigger or smaller than that of AC Odyssey? Personally, I want to know where it fits in with the rest of the series too. In an interview with YouTuber, and I'm sorry for butchering this, Julian Chesy, Ubisoft producer Julien Laferriere, explained that AC Valhalla's map is bigger than AC Odyssey's. While you might think that that makes it the biggest map in the franchise's history, it's not quite there. A YouTube channel by the name of Dimitris Galatas VFX posted a video in 2018 that compared every AC game's map size to date, including AC Odyssey. From the smallest to the largest, the map sizes are Damascus from AC1 at 0.13 square kilometers, AC2 Florence at 0.30 square kilometers, AC2 Venice at 0.37 square kilometers, AC3 New York at 0.93 square kilometers, AC Revelations Constantinople at 0.94 square kilometers, AC Brotherhood Rome at 1.41 square kilometers, AC3 Frontier also at 1.41 square kilometers, AC Unity Paris at 2.40 square kilometers, AC Syndicate London at 3.70 square kilometers, AC Rogue North Atlantic Sea at 70 square kilometers, AC Origins Egypt at 40 square kilometers, AC Odyssey Greece at 130 square kilometers, and finally AC4 Black Flag Caribbean at 235 square kilometers. If I haven't said it before, I'll say it now. AC4 Black Flag is the best AC game ever made, and the colossal map size is a big part of why I personally love it so much. I'll link the video with all these map sizes below in the description. I didn't want to include it because it's not my personal work, so you can go and watch that for yourself if you're curious. I may use images of the map sizes in this video though. But I didn't just include this detail about AC Valhalla's map not being the biggest in the series for no reason. I only mentioned it because it serves as a frame of reference for what we're going to be talking about in a few points further into the video. Now, Laferriere explained that in his interview on AC Valhalla's map size that it contains an entire country, so England, and part of Norway as well. The game will begin in Norway and then quickly move to England, where Eivor sets up a settlement and bases his or her life from then on. Laferriere added that there are other secret areas that also contribute to the map size, but we won't know about these until maybe the game actually releases. Here's an interesting point though. England at the time that AC Valhalla is set, 873 AD, England is not the UK. In fact, it's not even really what you consider England to be today. The land as a whole is known as England, but the country that AC Valhalla takes place in is called Albion. Albion was made up of 4 kingdoms, each with their own ruler, because the Saxons, as we were known back then, were all vying to be king over the entire land. These kingdoms were Wessex, which stretches from the end of Cornwall and technically was its own country, to Canterbury and Sutton Hoo across the bottom of the country. Then you had Mercia, which is in the middle, which is sort of where I live now. It makes up the Midlands and what the English today mainly refer to as the South, though there is more of the country further south, as in Wessex. On the eastern bump of the country, you had East Anglia, which makes sense, and then to the north, as far as Scotland, the border with it with Hadrian's Wall, you had Northumbria. It's worth mentioning that more kingdoms and parts of the country did appear over time, but these are the 4 kingdoms being explored in AC Valhalla, so they're the only ones we really need to care about. The land area for these kingdoms is really roughly, 130 kilometers squared. Without Norway being included, which is part of the map as well, this is already the same map size as AC Odyssey. So why am I pointing this out? Purely to show that this won't be the biggest map in AC history, unless there are another 100 or so kilometers squared to make up for in the ocean. Norway and those secret areas. To be honest, if the secret areas mean that Scotland is also included, this would be my favourite AC game of all time. Alright, with that tangent out of the way, let's go on to another. Throughout the AC series, I would say that there have been two distinct types of maps, or worlds. The first are wide open worlds, such as the Frontier in Assassin's Creed 3, the oceans in AC Rogue and Black Flag, Greece in AC Odyssey, Egypt in AC Origins, and even the open middle section in AC 1, to a degree. The second type of worlds or maps are cities. These include the cities in AC 1, 2, 3, Rome in Brotherhood, Constantinople in Revelations, Paris in Unity, London in Syndicate, and of course the intricately detailed cities in AC Liberation. When I think of these two types of worlds or maps, I can tell you which ones I prefer immediately. The open worlds are fantastic, they're wide, they're filled with points of interest for miles around, but they require a lot of legwork to travel to and between. Even when you get to them, sometimes these points of interest are just underwhelming, nothing more than a chest for you to open and then you're on to the next one. In the cities though, there's something to do around every corner. Buildings are ripe for looting, events pop up on the street just around the corner, and the collectibles are so thick that they block the streets when you zoom the map out. The cities feel fuller, even when they're technically smaller and they have much less going on than the wide open worlds. AC Valhalla's story isn't going to be as long as, say, AC Origins is or AC Odyssey's, at least according to Malek Tafahat, head of communications for Ubisoft Middle East. Specifically, he said that, FYI, it won't be the longest or biggest game in the series. They addressed criticism on this one in response to a comment on Twitter. The tweet isn't available for me, but the VG247 article that reported on it is, and there's a link to it in the description if you just wanted to fact check that. If AC Valhalla's story is going to be shorter than that of AC Odyssey, that could simply mean that everything is just closer together. Think about it. If you don't have to spend an hour travelling to a new location just for a story quest, then you could cut a good dozen or so hours out from both AC Origins and AC Odyssey. The story can still be intricate and full of twists, it'll just be quicker to complete because of how closely packed the locations are. I'm a fan of this idea because it'll make travel between areas much easier and the story and side quest will feel a bit better because of that. I also like the idea of being able to roam as an explorer in this world and just knowing the landmarks, say trees, stones, castles, towns, all of that, and know where I'm going. However, we are still talking about an entire country here, plus a chunk of Norway. I think that the story, if it's anything like AC Odyssey's, will still be sizable. It just won't require multiple full days of playing to complete. Really, I think that's everything. We know that AC Valhalla will have a big map, but it won't be the biggest in the series by a good long way. We also know that the story is going to be manageable, and it won't be something that players drop out of through boredom halfway through. I think that the largest part of this game is still going to be the settlement, but I'll probably explore that in a later concept video. I'll just end by reminding you that it will be possible to head out on your longboat in this game, so seafaring is definitely still a thing. How much of a role it plays in the overall game, we'll have to wait and see, but I think that the map and story will be big enough that we're not going to care about how little time we spend on the ocean. Thank you for watching. If there's anything else you'd like me to cover about AC Valhalla specifically, just let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.